Hello everyone, it's David from Automotive Press. I am super excited to be driving the all-new Toyota Prius Prime. Still made in Japan, completely new from front to back, and it is plug-in hybrid, so you can drive this in fully electric mode or in a hybrid mode. In fact, this might be one of the best small cars out there. I'm going to give you 5 reasons why I believe this is the best small car in the world. Let's go. Welcome back. The first reason why I believe this is the best small car in the world is because of its manufacturing quality. It's built in Japan at the Tsutsumi factory, where I've been many times, and it's one of the best Toyota factories in Japan. And you can tell right away the quality is right up there with some of the best cars in the world. Now keep in mind, this is what Toyota calls a prototype, but what I call a pre-production model, because Toyota has 4 or 5 stages of pre-production stages before the final production. And I think this is the one stage just before the final production. So it's pretty close to what we're going to get once it reaches a dealership. But you can tell the gaps are actually fantastic. It's just about 3.5 millimeters from front to back. But more importantly, the panels line up perfectly. There's absolutely zero difference between this side and this side. So the whole thing looks absolutely fantastic. And if I look at the quality differences over here, it's even better. It's just 3.2 millimeters here. And further back, it's also 3.3 millimeters. And so from front to back, all the panel alignment looks perfect. In fact, even if you compare this to another Toyota small car like the Corolla hatchback or the Corolla sedan, this is far better made. What about the paint job? Well, it's super gloss, very good, consistent paint. This looks beautiful in this red color right here. And I don't see any kind of pigmentation or orange peel issues. This one has quite a bit less orange peel than sometimes what I see in North American built models, just because the paint technology and the paint method is a little bit different when they're doing in Japan. So the quality of the paint is excellent. Now let's measure the paint thickness to see how it is. So I have the paint thickness gauge here to measure the paint in microns, which is the total amount of paint, including the clear coat and the undercoat on top of the body panels. And you want the paint thickness to be between 100 to 180 microns. Typically, Toyota is about 110 to 120, so let's take a look. 156 microns in the front, 114 microns. So actually this is pretty thick, and I'm glad that Toyota was smart enough to make the hood paint just a little bit thicker than the rest of the body, just to avoid the paint chip and stone that might be hitting the hood. What about the other panels here on the side? 125, and on the roof, 94. So it's a little bit thinner on the roof. Typically that's the case because the paint obviously kind of flows toward the bottom of the car. So it's thinner here and thicker here. Let's do a final check over here on the rear door. 123 microns. So the paint job is actually a little bit thicker than other Toyota cars, which tend to be around 100 to 110 microns, and especially on the hood is even thicker. So they obviously designed this properly, the engineer's way, to give a thicker paint over here, and even the rest of the paint is a little bit thicker than other average Toyota cars. So even though this is a prototype or pre-production model, all of the alignments are good. The quality looks perfect, paint thickness is just right, and the paint quality is absolutely fantastic. And that's why I believe this is one of the best small cars in the world, because no other small car manufacturer can build a car with this level of manufacturing quality. Now let's take a quick look at inside of the Prius Prime to see if the quality meets my expectation as an engineer. Well, you know what, so far I've been driving this for a while now, and I've been doing kind of my punch test to see if any parts are loose, and everything is absolutely solid. This thing honestly looks like it's been built by Lexus production workers. All the parts fit perfectly well. There's not a single piece that's loose or coming off, even though this is a prototype. And the Toyota engineers were smart to design everything that makes it look very upscale. So really cool looking kind of pinkish bronze trim here, high quality molding right here, although this is a hard plastic, and the buttons have just the right tactile feel. Again, nothing's out of place, and when I drove this on the highway and some bumpy road, everything is tight with no rattles and squeaks, even though this is not the final production model. So the interior quality, design, and engineering, fantastic. The second reason why I really loved the Prius Prime is because it has what I call the best of both world technology. It can be driven as a full EV, or it can be driven as hybrid when the battery runs out, because it's a plug-in hybrid. And I really think for today's modern, busy lifestyle, plug-in hybrid just makes so much more sense because you don't have to have range anxiety in a sense that when the battery runs out, well, you just drive it like a normal hybrid. And even in the hybrid mode, the thing is super efficient anyway. In the fully electric mode, the Prius Prime is able to drive 72 kilometers or 44 miles. So it has significantly more range, which means that you can actually drive most of the time on fully electric mode and not use any gas at all. My wife has a RAV4 Prime. It has a little bit less range, but she just plugs it in every couple of days and she haven't had to use any gas other than every 6 months or so. You gotta let the gas tank use up and refill it with the fresh gas just so that the fuel does not become stale. So plug-in hybrid makes a lot of sense, and there are very few small cars in the world that is offering plug-in hybrid. That's why the Prius Prime provides some of the most compelling reason to buy a small car again. The third reason why I'm so excited about this car is that for the very first time, Toyota has designed a beautiful, amazing looking small car that you just typically do not find from the Toyota lineup. This thing is 25 millimeter longer, 20 millimeter wider, but 50 millimeter lower than the previous Prius. So it is lower and longer and wider, and therefore it has that stance of a beautiful European sports sedan. In fact, it kind of looks like an Alfa Romeo in terms of design philosophy, which is unheard of coming from a Toyota designer. So Toyota took a huge risk with the design, and I think it works. Everyone that I've spoken to and also on the street, people are saying, what is this? It looks great. It doesn't look like a typical Toyota car. It looks much more European in terms of flavor and character. And you know what? I love it. It's probably the best looking small cars out there. The fourth reason why I believe Prius Prime is the best small car in the world is because it is very refined, quiet, and super smooth for a very affordable car. It has an amazing amount of predictability and agility and for a small car at this price range, and it has an extremely smooth ride on the highway. It's very quiet, obviously because it drives in the full EV mode, and there's no other small cars that I've driven lately that can match the level of refinement of this Prius Prime. It also has a really good range, up to 72 kilometers or 44 miles, which is, believe it or not, 80% improved over the previous Prius Prime. So you get a very practical and a usable range. The new 2-liter 4-cylinder engine has 220 horsepower, which is more than 100 horsepower than before, allowing the car to hit 60 miles per hour in 6.6 seconds, which is unheard of in a small hybrid type car like this. So I think that in this price range, there's nothing that comes close to Prius Prime in its ability to deliver a refined ride in a comfortable cabin and still give you surprisingly good 0 to 60 acceleration times. The fifth and the final reason why I believe the Prius Prime is the best small car in the world is because it's very affordable. It starts at just under $38,000 Canadian, goes up to just under $47,000 here in Canada. The price is amazingly good for what you get because you can drive it like a fully electric car and never use a gas if you don't want to, but yet it has kind of sporty flair and a character that is unlike any other small cars out there, and it still provides good practicality. Now, I do admit that they have shrunken the interior spacing a little bit due to larger battery size and so forth, so it's not necessarily a roomier Prius, but it is definitely a lot more fun to drive, a lot faster acceleration, and it has better technology inside and out. In fact, it has the latest Toyota safety sense as well. So you get pretty well everything you want in an affordable package that you can keep for a long time and know that it will have a really good resale value because it's a Toyota, and you remain trouble-free and maintenance-free for years to come. And all those combination of different factors are something that are not available in many other small cars, but it is definitely all packaged properly in this Prius Prime. So I love this small car, and if I have to buy a small car for my family, this is definitely on top of my list. So I hope you like my review and explanation as to why I believe this is the best small car in the world. I hope you can give me a thumbs up and make some comments. That would be truly appreciated. And if you haven't done so, would you kindly subscribe to my channel? But until next video, I'm signing off for now. Thank you so much.